Uh, we're last week was Parshat Para. This week is Parshat Chodesh. Uh, Parshat Para talks about the red heifer, and Chodesh is because right after that we get Rosh Chodesh coming up, a new month, and the first mitzvah that we were given as a people was the mitzvah to announce Rosh Chodesh, the new month. Now, what's interesting is that the economy between these two, para or the red heifer, there's seemingly no logical reason for it. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. But we do it because God told us to do it. Uh, and there's a lot of thoughts about that. One is that, there was a rock group at one time, way back when, they would demand that they would only have red M&Ms in the room, in the green room, whatever, okay? And people couldn't understand why would they do that. And the reason they did that was all the instructions they gave up to set up the stage. They wanted to make sure they were done. If they were so careful to have only red M&Ms, then they knew everything else was done. In other words, you're listening to us. Another thought, when I was in basic training many years ago, we were taught to do a lot of things that they gave us no explanation for. We had no idea why we were doing it. It's just that we were ordered to do these things. Then, when we went actually to war, we found out why we had to do those things. Okay? They just didn't explain it to us, but we were glad that they taught us these things because in real combat, these things became unnecessary. So, that can be possibly an explanation of the red heifer. There is a reason. We just don't fathom it. It's God has his reason, and you know, and God wants to make sure that even if we follow something we don't understand, then we'll follow something we do understand. Rosh Chodesh, on the other hand, like I said, is celebrating the fact that the first mitzvah that we received as a people was to announce the new month, that we announce it. This was done because a slave has no time. He doesn't wear a watch. He goes where the master tells him to go. He does what the master tells him to do, and that's it. He has no control. By making this the first mitzvah, God is saying you are in control of your time. You are in control of your life. There's no Hebrew word for tragedy. The Greeks had this whole concept of tragedy that you were fated. This was your fate. You had no control over it. The Torah says, no, you have control over your fate. You can determine what your life will be and how you handle adversity in life. And you can overcome it, if necessary. And there are a lot of Jews who managed to overcome, like being in the Holocaust, and live long and fruitful lives um, and they conquered. Uh, that they continued to live life as Jews because they knew one thing. That was the Nazis' worst uh, failure. Not only did we survive as Jews, and that is their ultimate failure. So we can understand Rosh Chodesh, where it's coming from. Red heifer, I don't understand it, but I would do it because the Torah tells me to do it. Okay? I figure God has his reasons. They're beyond my scope. I can deal with that. That's just something to think about.